This is Poundland, and this is Poundland camping gear. I'm going to tell you what I bought, how much I spent, and we're going to test it out together to see if it's just as bad as we think it's going to be, or if there are actually some hidden gems that you need to know about. So when I was out shopping for weird garden ornaments and sweets, I came across the clearance section and found this sleeping bag, which essentially spurred me on to grab some other camping and kind of hiking in general goodies, and then later place a slightly bigger order online. Let's address the elephant in the room though. I'm in my garden. If you've watched my camping in my garden so I don't waste money on camping gear video, you'll know that I'm trying to slowly build up my camping supplies so that one day I can go solo and go out into the wild and face my fears. That day hasn't happened yet, but I didn't want to let that stop me from trying out new gear, because after all, it's probably better for me to be more prepared when I do actually go out into the big, scary world. First things first then, what did I get and how much did I spend? Well, if you're not from Britain, as the name suggests, everything costs £1. Just kidding. You do get the odd £2, £5 or even £10 these days. It's a shambles, I know, but to be fair, everything that I got is way below the average of what you would pay for most camping gear. For example, this sleeping bag, which was £5. As you can see, it was actually £10 originally, but I got it for £5. Bargain, I know. I'm equal parts worried and excited about it. Obviously, polyester, but it is kind of light from my experience at 0.72 kilograms. Comfort rating of 13 degrees Celsius, limit of 9, and then extreme temperatures of -2. It even says at the bottom there, for recreational use, not expedition use. That's why I'm doing it in my garden. Might break it. Ugh. Hate those things. So obviously tent is not from Poundland. I think Poundland have done tents in the past, but this is the OEX Jackal 2. Not gonna be sold at Poundland, I don't think. So what have we got here? Okay, feels very thin. Oh, it looks like it can fully unzip to make it kind of more like a quilt. I still don't really know what a quilt is, to be honest, but something tells me this isn't exactly it, but I think I'm gonna find it more comfortable than a mummy bag, so it's got that going for it at least. And to be fair, it is still a heat wave. Last time I did my camping in the garden video, there was a heat wave then too. So I'll probably bring my thermometer out again just to kind of give you an idea. I don't want you to think that you can actually go and test this out in 10-degree weather. If you did watch my last video, you might remember that I was actually, you know, kind of, not chilly, but I was comfortable in a really sturdy sleeping bag. It was this OEX Roam 300 that has a comfort of 1 degree Celsius, and I think it was about 20 degrees in the tent, and I was just chilling with this on. It wasn't too hot at all, so I think that's my main worry with this, but it is boiling at the moment, so I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. Next is this bungee strap. I kind of got this for paddleboarding purposes, to be honest, but I have seen a lot of people use bungee cords to, you know, hang extra stuff on the inside of their tent so they have more storage, but I thought it would also be good to attach more things to my bag. I'm not going to have much reason to use this in the garden, but it was £1. I feel like that's worth it just for the materials, so grabbed that. Also got a 4-pack of carabiners, which you can always do with. These are slightly bigger than the ones that I've got, so thought that was handy. They were also £1. I also got, not so much for camping, but for just hiking in general, a travel sewing kit. I can actually sew very beginner stuff with a sewing machine, but you never know when you're going to be caught out with a rip or a tear in your tent, or even just any of your clothing, so I thought this was a great shout. Plus, it does actually come with a little tiny set of tweezers, which they're not the fine tooth tweezers that you kind of need for getting ticks out, but at least there's something, and, you know, little tiny scissors if you're working with bandages or anything like that. Just look how cute and small it is. It's like a Polly Pocket. But I thought that would be a great addition to anyone's survival kit. Like, very small, super light. Can't go wrong, really. Next, I got some of these mosquito and insect repellent mosquito bands. These ones are DEET free, which I don't think it's helpful against ticks, but I have sensitive skin, so I thought I'd give these a go. But my partner said that he used them as a child. I've never heard of them before, but they smell like insect repellent. I don't know, I've never tried these, but I thought I'd give them a go. Probably won't need them tonight, but might try them on the next hike I go on. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these. Literally never heard of these in my life. But anything that means I don't have to carry a big bug repellent spray, I'll take it. And then finally from this bag is an inflatable pillow. I can't see it being as comfortable as the self-inflating one that I had from Go Outdoors, but this is also a pound. Poundland is finally living up to its name. I'm guessing this is probably for if you go on holiday, like flying on a plane, as opposed to, I don't know, flying on anything else. It's actually quite a nice material. It feels really soft. I was expecting it to be one of those like really crinkly plastic feeling ones, but I'm impressed so far for £1. I'm really hoping this is going to be great because this seems really nice. That is it from that order, so let's move on to what else I got. So first thing first, I got some more of these, but they're the non-kids versions, so I think these ones might have DEET in them. It doesn't say DEET free, although now that I'm reading it, I can't see that it has DEET anyway. I think they just added DEET free for the kids version, but I'll compare the ingredients and let you know. They were also £1. I got this power bank, which was £3, and I thought maybe I could use it to charge a light source. I don't know, maybe that's stupid because you could just charge it before, but I just think this would be a good fail-safe. I already carry a power bank for my phone, but I'd feel better about using this one all night rather than using the one for my phone because I'd be worried about that running out of juice when I need it. Just realised I'm gonna have to charge this, so I'm gonna go put that on charge. I'm gonna have to move back for this thing. I got myself a little camping stool. How good is that? I didn't know Poundland did this kind of thing. I feel like that's on the wrong way around. Am I being an idiot? Surely this bit should be on the bottom. Maybe I can unpick that and fix it myself another time. But let's have a look. Excellent. For £5, I feel like I can't complain about it. It's pretty light as well, considering it was so cheap. But I don't think I would take this backpacking with me. I just kind of got it as a fun little thing. Oh wait, I was being an idiot. You can just unfold it the other way and it flips the fabric around. That's crazy. Well, if you make the same mistake, now you know. And I think I'll take a pew and I'll show you the next thing, which is probably the thing I'm most excited about. This cute little cookware set. I don't know, I feel like this might be a bit big, but let's have a look. How much was this? This one was also £5, and it comes with, it's a 3-piece set. It doesn't actually say of what, but I will show you. Look at that. That seems like pretty good quality to me. It is stainless steel, apparently. 800 milliliters capacity cook pan. So you get a lid, a little plate, which I guess you could also use if you wanted to fry 2 things at once, maybe? That might be a lie, but plate / bowl, and then your little pan. How cute is that? Maybe we'll try cooking something tonight. I wasn't planning on it, but I feel like it would be a shame not to try these out. So I'm gonna have to think of something to cook real quick. The only bad thing about this stool is that you can't lean back, but I think that's pretty common with camping stools. You're not gonna get a full chair set up. But I think this is great for people who don't like sitting on the floor too much. I think my partner Sam would agree that he doesn't have the best flexibility and sitting on the floor can be really annoying and painful sometimes. So yeah, I think this would be good for those kinds of people. Okay, full disclosure, I just got this while I was getting some B-roll for this video. It's just a little solar powered light and it was £1, but I feel like this would be a great little camping light. For one, it just screws off, and to be fair, I'm not sure you really need that. You could just, if you're worried about weight and, you know, bag space, you could just take that off and just carry this. It's not going to be as nicely diffused as if you have the full if you have the full thing, but I feel like this could be great. I'll charge it up and show you what it looks like, but I have high hopes for this too. Okay, so this does feel a little bit silly because I've got a full kitchen in there with loads of ingredients and a hob and all of the utensils that I could need, but how else am I going to test this Poundland cook set? So obviously, because I've never camped before, I've never cooked a meal outside before, so I've just kind of put together stuff that I think I'll need. I've basically put all of my ingredients into these 3 pots. This is some pasta that I cooked earlier. This is pepper, onion, garlic, olive oil and balsamic. Oh, and tomatoes. And this is tin tomatoes, like half of a pasta sauce, and cheese. And then I've got this tiny little chopping board, and I figured I'd use the stool as it's kind of a good height for that. A spork with a spoon end and a little knife. This wouldn't be the one that I would take with me, but ideally I would get like a pen knife or just, you know, one of those nice sharp ones that you can fold away just to be safe. It's the little stove I'm using, just a standard one. Okay, so I'll just get the bottom one on. This doesn't feel very secure because there's no like locking mechanism. With this part, for example, it clips in, so the handle isn't going anywhere. This doesn't have that, but to be fair, I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. I kind of like that this acts as like a sealable little container. I don't know about you, but I'm a bit of a child when it comes to vegetables, which is kind of embarrassing to say, especially because I'm a veggie, so I'm kind of the worst vegetarian in the world. But I like to cut my vegetables really, really small. And to be honest, I've blended them before to make a hidden vegetable sauce that you do for children. However, I feel like the benefit of that is that I could have just fried all of these to begin with at home, pretend that I'm not at home right now, but I could have done all of this at home, blended it into a big hidden veg soup, and then brought that. Then I won't have to do this all outside. But to be fair, I guess this is part of the fun. Okay, onions in. This is so rapidly burning. Okay, maybe I would pre-chop onions because there are some big chunks in there. But I do like onions, so that I can live with. So that's just gonna cook along a bit, and then once it's fried off, I'm gonna add the sauce and the tomatoes. I think I'll take this opportunity to blow up this inflatable pillow. I'm already gonna pass out. Okay, I think that'll do for now. I don't like a super thick pillow, but if I want any more, I can always add some more. This feels really nice though. First impressions are great. Hopefully they last. You might be thinking, what are you going to put in there? Well, I don't know what people do when they make pasta for, you know, when they go backpacking. Because it seems like it would be kind of annoying to boil it from scratch. I think, I think Patrick Dickinson on here has said that, you know, he dehydrates his food, which I think is so cool, and I would love to look into doing that. Otherwise, this is the only thing I can really think of besides boiling it from scratch. I guess I could bring 2 stoves and do them at the same time, but I feel like that's just a waste of gas maybe, when I could just do it at home and then reheat it later. I feel like this might be quite a bit much to fit in this little pan. I might have to spread it between the 2. Ooh. It's all kind of stuck together. 10-second rule. It's just a bit hard to stir because it's so shallow. It's getting slightly dark, so I feel like now is a good time to test out that power bank. I haven't charged it for too long, but I did get this fun little lamp. And we'll see. Obviously, I'm not going to strap this to my backpack if I go backpacking, but I don't have another lamp yet, so for now, that'll do. Let's give this a go. Ugh. Well, it works. I guess we'll see how long that stays on for, starting from now at 20 to 10. I've just realized I probably should have washed these before I started using them. At least that might do something. I think this is about ready. You can't really see. Does that help? Looks quite nice to me. Looks like normal pasta at least. Let's try it. It tastes kind of barbecue-y. Maybe that's because of the burnt bits, but it tastes kind of weird. Maybe it's because I didn't wash this before I used it. The only thing that could make this better is if there was a really nice view here. Instead it's just my house. I've got the sky at least. It's kind of going pink. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this while it's still hot, and then we'll have a look at setting up the inside of the tent. The bugs have already started attacking me, so I'm gonna see if this might be very ineffective, but I'm gonna see if I can just tie these to the entrance of the tent, because they've got loads of citronella in them, and I'm hoping that just that smell will stop them from coming in. Maybe get them to leave me alone a little bit. I thought I would test out that bungee cord I got, and I figured because there's only one pull tab up here, there isn't one on this side. I thought I could kind of sort out kind of a bungee system so that I can have a light near my head over here. Because when you're reading, you don't want the light to be behind you. You want it over here. I don't know, maybe your head is meant to be that way, but it feels a bit claustrophobic with it being so low down. So I'm gonna try and put my 1 pound bungee cord to good use. And I'm just gonna put this one on the little zip thing on the door. Might be a bit close for comfort at first, but I'm gonna move this over to the middle. I think now is a great time to show you the difference between these two pillows. So this is the High Gear self-inflating pillow that I got from Go Outdoors. It was £8, and you know, well, that's not insanely extortionate compared to other camping gear. I do think the main problem with it is that it's just so big and bulky. Like even with most of the air out, like how it is now, that's huge. I know I could take loads more air out, but it still ends up being about that big. But you saw how small this was. It was fully flat, really easy to fold up, so I'm really hoping this is good, because at £1, that's insane. Would love that. That's probably what I'm banking on being good. Also, just to say, power bank is still going strong with this cute little light. Okay guys, it is 23.4 degrees Celsius or 74.1 degrees Fahrenheit. I've got to say, I'm feeling slightly chilly, just out and about. Feeling a bit concerned with how thin this sleeping bag is. I mean, look at that. How thin. We're gonna give it a go. I'm in. I've got to say, I've been in here for about 2 seconds and it already feels kind of sweaty. You know when you're sweaty and fabric keeps sticking to your skin? That's how this feels on my legs. But I guess if you're wearing a base layer, that wouldn't be a problem. I think we should try out what we've all been waiting for. The pillow. This has quickly become the main event for me. I have low hopes for the sleeping bag. It's probably fine for nights like this where, you know, this happens like quite rarely in the UK, although I guess we have multiple heat waves a year now, thanks to climate change. I wouldn't rely on anything like this if you're wanting to camp in the UK regularly. That's just my thinking, or at least I know that I wouldn't. But this pillow could easily be a part of someone's sleep system. This is just as comfy and not crinkly at all as the self-inflating mat. And to top it off, I think I put the perfect amount of air in there. The only thing I would say is, if you can see my head moving around, because it's just the pillow, there's no like fibres in the middle that I don't know, make it self-inflate like the other one. My head is moving quite a lot. It doesn't have that sturdiness, but to be honest, I think that's fine. In order to have the benefit of it packing down so low, it needs to not have anything inside it. So I think that's just something that you have to live with if you want a pillow and you want space. I'm happy with it, especially for £1. This feels nice. Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. It is midnight, so yeah, I'm gonna get some shut eye and I'll let you know if I wake up in the night freezing. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. It is like staring into the sun in here. It's 5 a.m. Okay, morning first impressions. First impression is I am so sweaty in this. As you can probably tell, I've got an extra thermal layer on because I just got like a little bit chilly last night. But even though I was chilly the whole time, I felt like so sticky and sweaty in this sleeping bag. I think I was saying last night, but it just sticks to you everywhere and it feels, I don't know how else to describe it, it just feels sweaty. I think it's just that cheap polyester, you know. However, this, great, highly recommend. Yeah, I think that's about everything that I can comment on for now. I'll let you know how I feel later, after I've thought about it for a while. As always, it feels really nice to be awake at this time, even though not ideal. It feels very peaceful. I was about to give you my final thoughts on the bargains outside, but the sky just decided to open and start slinging it down, so I've moved it in here. I think we'll start with the thing I'm most disappointed in. Disappointed, but not surprised. The sleeping bag. The sleeping bag is awful. I felt hot and cold at the same time, and the worst part was that I felt sticky and sweaty and gross. I genuinely can't see this sleeping bag being useful in any kind of weather whatsoever, so I'll probably just chuck it in my car to act as a kind of emergency breakdown blanket. Moving on though, the stove was decent, but I'm sure you could probably get much better for barely much more cost. Because it was so thin, it very quickly burned anything in the middle of the pan, even on a low heat. But to be fair, if you are using it to heat up sauces or boil water, you'll probably be fine. Just remember though, there's a lot of surface area being missed by the stove and a lot of extra surface area for the heat to escape, so it's probably not the most efficient option. But I do like how it all clips away, and I feel like you could store the food that you're going to cook in there without needing additional containers, so that could be helpful. There was that weird taste though. I'm still not sure if that was because I didn't wash the containers before using it, or if it just had a weird taste, or if my food just tasted weird, but I didn't do anything differently than what I normally would, so I'm not sure what happened there. I thought maybe it could be because I cooked with gas, but surely that would happen with a gas stove as well. So I don't know, bit weird. Okay, the citronella bug repellent bracelet things. I think they worked. There were a few bugs hanging around before I attached them to the tent, and I can't remember being bothered by any after I put these up, so maybe they helped. I haven't worn them directly yet, but I can imagine them being a bit irritating, so if you do want to give them a go, I'd recommend attaching them to a bag strap or your tent vestibule like I did. I do remember being confused by the fact that there's a kids version and an adults version. The kids version says DEET free, which implies that it's more sensitive. However, I looked at the ingredients and they're exactly the same. I'm not sure if you can see, but they've just moved it so this line breaks before this one to make them look slightly different, but unless I'm being stupid, I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same. So then I thought, well, maybe they're different because these are smaller, because they're for kids. These are the exact same product with different packaging, so not sure why that's the case. I'm pretty sure they were the same price when I bought them, so I don't see the difference. Just letting you know, you can pick up either if you want to try them. The camping stool I did really enjoy as a little table more than anything. But like I said earlier, I can see these being a big help for people that aren't as comfortable sitting on the ground. Also, I left it out in the rain for a couple of nights and it's still holding up strong. No signs of wear and tear, so that's definitely a good sign. That being said though, it's heavy, it's bulky, and I think this would be a better addition to a car camp setup than something that you would backpack out with. This little light was a late addition that I got after I actually camped when I was getting B-roll of Poundland. So I didn't have it with me that night. As you can see though, it's a tiny little solar powered light, really lightweight, and like I said, could probably be made smaller by losing this little diffuser section. It is really light though, so I don't think there's a problem there. Maybe you could even keep something in here as well, like, I don't know, first aid supplies. This is what it looks like with the diffuser. I'll show you a video of it outside for a better look. To be honest though, I think for my ideal kit, I want to look for something that's part solar powered and part USB rechargeable so that I could use that power bank that I got. I don't have much to say about the power bank, to be honest. It's just a pretty standard power bank. It's not a huge sized battery, but you know, it'll do. And I think the only thing I can really say about it was that it kept that light on for the good few hours that I used it for. Again though, my ideal would be to just use that as a backup and get a light that primarily uses solar power and just, you know, can be boosted with a bit of USB charge. Now for the main event, I think this was the biggest win of this little experiment, the £1 travel pillow. I love this thing so much. It's really nice and kind of like a velvety suede texture, so you know, it feels like there's a bit of friction, stops it moving around, and it just feels really nice against your skin. Let me just deflate it to show you again how small it is. This might take a while. My only gripe about this pillow is that this nozzle is so small, but you know, that's probably to keep it light and to stop you from being able to feel it. At least this is easier than blowing it up. There we go. Look at that. Thin, glorious. It's perfect. It's so small. I love it. I think it's the perfect pillow for camping. Like, this clearly packs away way smaller than the self-inflating one I have, so I think this is going to be a permanent part of my work in progress sleep system. The self-inflating one can also be demoted to emergency car camp system, I think, just like the sleeping bag. Speaking of cars, I just wanted to add a note at the end of here to say I am going to be vlogging a hike very soon. It's just really hard for me to get out there when I can't drive on my own, legally at least. I am learning though, so wish me luck, and hopefully I'll be able to take us both on fun little adventures by the end of the year. I do wonder if maybe I should have started making YouTube videos when I could drive and, you know, make the whole video thing a bit easier, but I've just been really enjoying it so far, and you know, I think it's been going all right. Thanks for 8K, by the way. Anyway, I think what we've learned from this little experiment is that while you can find the odd useful bargain like the bungee cord or my new beloved pillow, some things just shouldn't be skimped on, like a sleeping bag. As painful as it is to say, I think I'm going to have to spend a bit more on a sleeping bag or quilt than I was planning on. I mean, I didn't think I could get away with a £5 sleeping bag, but there was a tiny bit of hope there. So if you have any recommendations for quilts, sleeping bags, please let me know. And if you want to see the first time that I camped in my garden, check out that video linked down in the description below. Thanks for watching.